women gather separately and together in non-scripted conversations over the topics at hand. The people and their responses are real. No telling what's gonna happen. It's his and hers. Let's jump in. All right. We are back with another episode, yet again, of his and hers. This week it is the women. Today we have Tamara from Lexington, Kentucky. And please, ladies, if I mess up anything today, call me out on it. Please call me out. I beg of you. Tamara, Lexington, Kentucky. Jamela, Louisville, KY. Kiki from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And Kalisha is returning yet again, Jackson, Mississippi. All right. This week, ladies, last week we had the whole Oscars debacle, so we focused heavy on that last week. But we're just gonna keep it very basic this week and start off with a very real question, and I think it's gonna be a resounding no. But will you say you're sorry, even though it is not your fault, just to make your partner happy? Let me see. Do we have any muted microphones? Tamara, we're starting with you. Could you, if you could unmute yourself?
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing well.
I'm going to say yes, depending on the situation. And that would be because do you keep going on and on, back and forth, or do you just say yes and take the higher road and keep it moving? So that would be what I would do, but it would be in a particular situation, because the back and forth, why do you keep doing that, or do you come to a compromise?
Interesting. Okay. Jamela, what are your thoughts?
Mine is no. I feel like if a person is in the wrong, you're in the wrong. You should accept that you're in the wrong. It shouldn't be that you say sorry if you didn't do anything. So I say no.
Okay. Kiki, what you got for us?
I ain't apologizing. Especially if I didn't I'm not, I'm just, I ain't gonna do it. You gotta have a super valid reason, first of all. And I'm non-confrontational, but I'm not apologizing if I don't feel I did anything wrong. Like, we are all entitled to an opinion, and we're human. Like, I'm not apologizing. Period.
Okay. Kalisha, thank you for returning. Oh, you're muted, I believe. I can't hear you, at least. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. It's unmuted over here.
Can't hear her.
Can't hear you. In the Zoom, it says you're unmuted, so I don't know why I wouldn't be able to hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, had some technical difficulties over here, but yeah, it's my pleasure to be back. Anytime you guys need me, I'm more than happy to join y'all. Our company is based on communication and transparency. So I think this is a question of knowing your partner and knowing your relationship. I personally always apologize. Well, I don't want to say always apologize, but I am quicker to apologize because I know that my significant other has a very fragile ego. And a lot of times, because I'm very confident in my relationship with him, I will back down because even though he's in the wrong, because of situations that we've dealt with, because of traumas in our past, he's not always able to see the wrong that he's doing because it may be something that I'm internalizing that he doesn't understand. So I'm very quick to step back and say, hey, listen, I apologize. Like maybe I didn't come about this the right way, or maybe I didn't say something the right way, even when I know that it was something that he said that triggered me to make me feel the way that I felt. So it's definitely more about knowing your situation, knowing your life, knowing yourself, and healing internally. So, if apologizing, like Tam said, is going to squash this situation right now, and we can come back and rehash it and talk about it later, I will. I'll absolutely apologize. I'm sorry. Like let's talk about it later. So yeah, I'm gonna apologize.
So, okay, so this is interesting. So half of the panel is let's keep it moving. This isn't that big of a deal. We got to keep things moving. Let's keep the ball rolling. The other half is nah, you did that, and we need to address this immediately. All right, all right, all right. And on. Since you touched on Kalisha, since you touched on the knowledge, we'll move on to the next question, which is the knowledge of your partner. Is it really necessary for you to know everything about your partner's previous relationships? Ladies, do you really want to know everything, like everything about your partner's previous relationships? Going from left to right, Tamara, you have the floor.
No. Some things don't concern me. That's what the past is for. We have moved on and you should move on. The question comes, are there things that you know in the past that will affect your relationship that you're in right now? If there are triggers or things from that past that will keep coming up or will come up in your relationship, absolutely you need to figure out what that is, and you should know about it so that you can communicate and know that, hey, that's a trigger, or obviously that doesn't need to happen in our relationship. What can we do together to make sure that it doesn't happen in our relationship, or it doesn't happen anymore if it does happen? It's all about, again, communication. And again, like Kalia said, knowing your partner.
Okay. Jamila, what you got?
I say that in a relationship, when you're getting to know someone, if a person comes out and want to just freely tell you stories about their past or things they've been through and, past relationships is okay. I feel going deep into questioning about their past, of what they dealt with in other relationships, what might have caused that previous relationship to break up, or what was the issue, should be very unnecessary to me. I feel like once you get into a relationship with someone, you'll find out those things. You'll find out, they'll start sharing stories with you to let you know some of their past. So I feel like it's very unnecessary to me.
Okay, understood. Kiki?
I don't really think it's my business. Like, you getting to know a person, and I'll just use my experience. I was married half my life, and I was always taught growing up, don't volunteer no information. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If they ask me something, I'm gonna keep it 100% transparent, but I ain't gonna go looking for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Kalisha?
All right, so I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, and I'm going to say yes. I'll be wanting to know everything. Okay, so let me be honest and let me be clear, because I know there are gonna be some people like, oh. If there is a potential for your past, as Jamila said, or as Tam said, to affect our future or affect anything that we have going forward. For example, if you are working with somebody you have slept with and we are all in the same places together and hanging out together, I feel like it's important that you share that information with me, because I don't want to be in a circle of people who have one up on me, if that makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to know my partner's ins and outs, so there's nobody that can tap me on my shoulder and be like, this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. So I definitely would like to be in the forefront of knowing my partner. And I am one of those people that will tell everything. I'm like, okay, this happened when I was in the 3rd grade, and the 4th grade, this happened, 10th grade, this happened. Like, that's me. But my partner is completely opposite. So like, I have to dig and pull and grind to get any information out of him. So I do want to know everything. And I feel like it's important to know your person, because that's how you grow with one another. And like Jamila said, also, you know, it's going to be times when those things are going to come out. You know, they're going to be situations that trigger their memory, and they're going to tell you about things that happen, or you're going to run into people. But if it is something that will potentially affect me in a negative way or could put me in any type of danger or harm, I definitely want to know. So I want to know as much as possible. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna allocate some time to the next segment because it's about to get deep. So with that said, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, pay these bills, and we will come right back with more his and hers. Stay plugged in.
What's good, y'all? It's Don B. We got the plug listening session Saturday, April 30th at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing my latest EP, Beats and Brews. So grab your 6-pack and check it out. And remember to stay plugged in. Vasilios and Habaritos. Feel your heart when I mingle, baby. You're true bandito.
Want your brand or business featured on the plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you. I'm telling what's gonna happen. It's his and hers. Let's jump in. All right, and we are back with more his and hers with the ladies this week, having a nice, relaxed discussion thus far. And now this is where I drop the bomb. All right, so the next question is, what can black men in America do to protect the black woman in America? What can black men in America do to protect the black woman in America? Tamara, excuse me.
I would say, and I may get some flack from this, but the first thing that they need to do is you've got a lot of mama's boys. That I don't need a third wheel in my relationship. Stop being a mama's boy. Stop saying, well, this is the way that I am. Stop saying that. What are you going to do to change the narrative in the situation? That's a big thing with our Black men today. You know, we just have a lot of Black men that won't even be stand up men. I know in generations past with our grandfathers and great grandfathers, I won't say that they were just right all the time and they did the right thing, but they didn't flaunt it. It wasn't out there either. And you had women that were willing and able to do what they needed to do to I guess keep that relationship or that family together. I think we need to get back to those things and those ways. We have a lot of influences that are not all positive influences in America today. So I guess we just need to get back to things that like our parents or our grandparents did and learn the ways of the things in which they did and not just go on what's popular right now in America.
Okay. Go back to the old ways. Gotcha. Jamila, what you got?
I think, first of all, when it comes to men and the way they treat us as women, men have to first off respect themselves first. Once they, like she was saying, if you break down yourself sometimes and figure out that you can become a different person than what you really are, then you will be able to treat a woman, you know, more differently. Our society has made it feel like it's okay to bash women, to belittle them in any kind of way. If you don't look a certain way, if you're not dressed a certain way, if you're more natural now, it's not respected as much as it used to be. Our society is very warped on a brain worship type thing, if you ask me, on the respect factor. Like she said, it should go back on some of the times of us being back in the day. Like she said, no one was perfect and no one ever will be, but we have to learn how to respect our Black women, to understand that we are queens and we should be treated a certain way. And if you want to be valued, you know, as a man and be treated a certain way, and y'all want the respect from us, and I feel like men should give it to women also. And that can be coming, like she said, from a breaking, you know, from the way you were brought up or something like that. But you have to know.
Yeah, you muted yourself. There you go.
With kindness, with respect, with the value that we are. Some women, you know, might not deserve that because they might not be carrying themselves the way they should. So we all need to, I feel like, as men and as women, know our worth if you wanted to be treated and respected a certain way.
Okay. So show respect for yourself and respect will be granted to you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Kiki, Oklahoma City, what you got?
I agree with both of them, and I'll speak on the fact that I was married to a mama's boy, and he was raised by a family of women, and you know it was super hard, you know, and the good thing about it is that I had a father, I had brothers, so they taught me, You know what I'm saying? So I knew you can't run game on me. You know, like you either gonna respect me or you not, you know, but you know, as a single mother now, like I have my boys are older, they're 24, 19, and my youngest is 17. And I try to convey to them how just, you know, how like, you know, you want to be with somebody that's gonna respect you, but you gotta first respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself and value yourself, then how are you going to respect me? Or, you know, if you don't love yourself, how you going to love me? You know what I mean? And you think being raised by a woman that, you know, a man would know, but that ain't the case all the time. And it's different with women because we're nurturers, we're life givers. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
I dig where you're coming from. Definitely, definitely. Being a black man that was raised in a single parent household, my mother. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Kalisha, what you got for us?
So very simply, but very profound. Oh, I'm getting emotional. I think that they need to heal. You know, I think that we all have suffered so greatly at the hands of so many and so many things that, you know, until they really try to reach back and figure out, like most of them said, you know, who they are and really value themselves, is it's tough as women because we have to sit back and we have to watch so much and we have to watch them endure so much. And I can't say that we're the greatest of protectors all the time either, because we can't be everywhere and we can't be everything. And I think for the longest we've carried the weight, you know, even from slavery, you know, they couldn't protect us the way that they needed to. So all those are traumas that we're reliving, that we internalize, that we don't even know about. So the greatest thing to me for our fellow man is to seek therapy, seek counseling. If you don't like that, journal. We have journals. Like, figure out how to get to know yourself and how to communicate effectively, because a lot of problems come from a lack of effective, efficient communication. When you can't get across your point, or when somebody's not listening to you, or when you feel like somebody don't understand what you're saying, an explosion a lot of times if people can't control themselves and don't know how to communicate. So a deep emotional healing to me would be the first step in Black men protecting Black women in America.
I want
Hey,
amen.
that is profound.
That was
Yeah, amen on the back of that one.
Okay. So, ladies, full disclosure. Like I said, the Oscars took place last week with Will Smith and Jada and Chris Rock. A lot of memes going around. We did that episode last week. This week, what we have going on, this particular question about black men in America protecting black women was posed on Twitter by Tashana Arnold. You may remember her from Martin as Pam. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she posed that question after she posed the one that I'm about to present to you all. I don't know if you are familiar with her Twitter, but I wasn't until this happened. So the other question she posed one to men, and then she posed this to women. What can black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? What can black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America?
Mm.
First of all, I had to look up emasculate because it's such a
right.
word that I don't really, you know, I see it, I hear it, but like, what exactly does emasculation mean? So when I went to good old Webster, maybe this is not Webster because I don't even know if they use Webster anymore. It says deprive of his male role or identity, make weaker or less effective. That is what emasculation means. I, I, hmm. That's a good question. Like, that's a very good question, because where does this come from? Like, who says that we're emasculating, or when did that become a thing? Like, because as you spoke of earlier, our grandfathers were men, right? They were in the fields, they were working, they were out. Our grandmothers, my grandmother was the man of the house. Like she raised the boys, raised the girls. So like when who y'all gonna have to help me on this one because and you know what? I kind of get it. Then I kind of don't.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This, what you're experiencing right now, is exactly what happened to her Twitter feed when she
Like,
posed
what are
that
you
question.
talking about? Like, because as a mother of boys, I've had a husband who helped raise my sons, and I, like she said, she had a mama's boy. I think culturally, societally, just in general, men choose the role that they want to be in. And I feel like there's no emasculation. Just like, for instance, when you talk about gender roles and you talk about identity, that's so confound these days that we can't even put anybody in a box and say, oh, he has to be the man of the house. If my mate doesn't like to cut grass and I do, and I go cut it, is that emasculating him? Like, I don't know, like, why somebody feels that women or Black women have had any hand in emasculating men, because I have pushed my sons the hardest of the hardest. Yes, I push my daughter harder just because I was just raised like that, because I want her to, if she wants a man, she can have one, but she doesn't have to need one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I pushed her harder to be more independent than I have with my sons. And I realized that as they've gotten older, that she is more so, the one who does everything, whereas I do a lot for my sons. Now that may be a part of emasculating them. And if that is, then yes, we need to work harder on making sure that our sons are just as independent and can do just as much. But to say that they are, choosing these roles because women are the reason why, I can't get that. I can't wrap my head around that one. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to go first. My bad. Y'all go ahead.
Well, really, I was just gonna let anybody who, because I felt a pause at first. I felt a pause in everyone because everybody was trying to think of how to approach it. So anybody that went first is fine. Well, it's not really. I don't think the question is really putting it all on the Black woman. It says aiding. So it might be hinting at subtle things that are subtle nuances that may take place, that may occur, that we don't even realize. And that's why we're here to unpack them.
In a way, I think when she maybe made that comment, it might come back from as us today as women, we are very more cold, we're more independent, as you could say. So we don't really, like you said, I like to cut grass. So I'll go out and cut the grass, if I have to. And so that does somewhat take some of the manhood away from a responsibility of a man. So we as women sometimes can I guess I could say portray. We could portray that we are very strong to hold down a lot of things that we sometimes can't, but we'll take it on because of the fact of that we have no choice sometimes but to pick up the role of something where a man is slacking from. So we, just don't want to fall for some of the nonsense that they might bring to the table. So it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and just do it all myself and step up to the plate. That doesn't really mean that you're, belittling the man and making him feel like he's less of a man. It's just that you're taking the more responsibility as we would as women always and always have, is to put our foot down to do more. So I feel like also man should sometimes, if they juggle half the things that we juggle, they might not feel that way because we can juggle a lot of things that they do plus more. So I feel like if they take up a little bit of the both sides of the field a little bit, they probably wouldn't feel that way.
So, okay, I'm glad she said that, because that was going to be my question. Like, was she talking about like women wearing the pants and the apron, or what? So I'm going to go in the direction in which she went and say that's what the question, that's the way I took the question, is because women are more independent and they wear the pants and the apron, men feel some type of way. Like, I know it was a big thing a couple of years back that women didn't need men because they could do everything on their own, and you didn't need a man to do this and you didn't need a man to do that. And I think because, again, as it was stated before, we have had strong mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers that held it down, and they didn't break. They may have bent, but they didn't break. So we take on that same role, and it's I can cook, I can have my baby on my hip, I can have this one over here doing the homework, and I can still take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. But men aren't as strong in that nature. It's they're focused on one thing, as we can focus on many things at once. It's not that we are
Trying to think.
again, it goes back to a gender role. That's just, we're going to do what we need to do, whether we have someone there with us or not, because that's what we've always done. You can't say, well, put people in boxes and say, this is what men are supposed to do, or this is what women are supposed to do. If my man is lacking in something, or I see something that needs to be done, who cares if it's a man or a woman's job? I'm going to jump in and do it, because I'm supposed to have his back and he's supposed to have mine. So I'm thinking that's where she was going with that question. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say that's where she went with it.
All right. Kiki, what you got
And
for us?
I'm totally opposite for everybody. Because my thing is, like, what was she thinking when she asked the question? Like, it's not the 50s, what men, I mean, we not going to be barefoot, pregnant with an apron on in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reality of it is, I grew up in a 2-parent home. You know what I'm saying? And my dad cooked. It wasn't because my mama couldn't. It was because that's what he liked to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so I was cooking at 10. When they got home, dinner was prepped and ready. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that, my mama couldn't cook or she didn't want to. They both worked, but my daddy enjoyed cooking, so that's what he did. My daddy I learned how to change the oil, change spark plugs, change a tire. It wasn't that he didn't want me to ever need a man or, not want me to be with a man, but he wanted me to know how to do it so I wouldn't have to depend on a man. It's not taking away, the fact that, I'm not trying to make you feel less of a man. Like when I was married, if I ask you to move the couch, move the bed, and you don't do it as quick as I think you need to, I'm going to do it. Period. Point blank. It is what it is. If you know what I'm saying, if my tire is low or I need to change it or whatever, and you don't move how I think you should move, I'm going to do it. I'm not making you feel less of a man. Like, I don't know where America or people got lost with it's a woman's job, it's a man's job. Why can't it be somebody's job, anybody's job? Like, we can all do it, or what this person can't do, you fill in, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, and that's
makes
why I was saying you can't put those people in boxes and say this is what a man is supposed to do, this is what a woman is supposed to do. I mean, it's what people do. You just
Right.
you can't put it to a certain person.
Let's just look at it from a different perspective. Let's say that she said this in response to the Will and Jada situation. I can't even get behind it in that aspect though, because like what them people do in their household has no bearings on anybody else. Like whatever she chooses, whatever he chooses, if they strapping up and they pegging, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like let him, if he don't always emasculated and he felt like he needed to do what he needed to do. Kudos to them. Like, I don't know where she came from with this. I was just trying to see if I could wrap it up in something else, sell it to y'all, but it wasn't helping me.
I got you. Well, we got to take a quick commercial break. Got to pay these bills yet again. And we will be back with more His and Hers on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
I think that whole
What's good, y'all? It's Don B. We got the Plug listening session Saturday, April 30th at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing my latest EP, Beats and Brews. So grab your 6-pack and check it out. And remember to stay plugged in. Vasilios and Habaritos, feel your heart when I mingle, baby, a true bandito.
Want your brand or business featured on the Plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you. I'm telling what's gonna happen. It's His and Hers. Let's jump in. All right, welcome back to His and Hers. We're getting heavy in the last segment with the protection of Black women and the emasculation of Black men. Now, with everything that was said prior, let's get to. Actually, let me do this one first because this makes more sense. What is it exactly that men bring to the table? Because I know across the internet, that table, I swear, that table is ruining lives right now. But what do men bring to the table? Tamara, what you got? Tamara, sorry.
What do men bring to the table? I can't speak on all men. I can speak on my man. He brings to me, and I'm sure these ladies will weigh in as well, but he brings stability, dependency. I can depend on him, and if I can depend on someone, because I don't trust everyone, but trusting and depending on someone that I know that when I'm down, you have my back. If you're bringing that to the table, we're good. We're good. Some people are probably saying, well, does he bring finances to the table? Absolutely. Is that the only thing that matters to me? No, it doesn't, but it helps. It helps significantly, but we bring together finances as well. So that helps us build what we're trying to build. I think Black men in America can bring a lot of things to the table, but is it that they're willing to bring it? Are they willing to bring it? That's the question that should be asked. Are they willing to bring it? Or are they afraid, or are they triggered by something, or have they been hurt from something in the past, the reason why they won't bring what they have to the table?
Okay, interesting. Jamela, what you got?
I think every man, when you're with someone, you expect a man to bring you security for one. You have to feel like you're, secured by your man. Like, you want to have security. You want to have someone there to, be a friend also. But it just kind of depends, I guess, on what you expect this person, like if you want what you expect them to bring, I guess you could say in a certain sense. So when I'm looking for a man, I want my man to have the finances together. He needs to do a lot of, to me, manly things, around the house. Like, I don't really want to cut no grass, so you cutting the grass. When it's time to fix things around the house, I feel like a man should be the one fixing the things around the house. When it comes to, I'm very old school with it, I guess you could say, when it comes to not really being the head of the household, but your finances has to be there. You have to bring, like she said, financial things to the table. We have to have, I guess, first of all, just respect for each other, because these days and times, sometimes the woman can bring a little bit more than the man to the table at sometimes, just depending on, how the relationship goes. So I think it kind of, I don't know, it kind of goes where we both, I think it's just a relationship thing. Like, we both have to bring something. It's not that you really expect the man to bring just, one particular or two or three particular things to this relationship. I think it's just an open table to where we all, they should bring, majority of the manly things, but not to the point to where it takes away from you as the woman are in the relationship as individuals together.
Okay. Real quick, can you expound on what the manly things are? Like, what do you mean by manly
Like I
things?
said, with to me, a man should always be, like I said, the head of the household. He should be the one that's always doing things as if, look, I want my man to pay all the bills for real, to be honest with y'all. So I feel like he should run the household. He should, like I said, cut grass, do all the yard things, fixing things around the house. When it's time to put a bed together, or put the dresser in, move the washing machine because it's messed up today, I need to clean behind it or something like that. That's manly duties to me. I know we shouldn't play a role to a certain extent on different things, but a lot of men have lost the values of doing manly things like they used to. And a lot of men used to do those things where we as women didn't have to. And we've lost that in a certain sense.
That's because we emasculated them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Kiki.
I don't 100. I don't know, because I can't say that I agree with her. You know what I'm saying? At this point, like I said, I was married 25 years. And at this point, I bring the table to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, it money doesn't fascinate me. Anybody can make money. I'm not a materialistic person. Like, what good are you at this point? Like I said, I'm 45. At this point, why do I need you? You know what I'm saying? Other than a quick fix. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind cutting the grass. I don't mind painting the wall, or, changing something or whatever. But like I said, I really think that it's all about how they were raised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm with Jamila. Bring the whole table. Bring the house. Bring the lawnmower. Bring if you don't want to cut grass, pay somebody to cut grass. Bring everything. Bring all the things, and the chairs and the cushions. Bring the food. And this is the emasculation thing. Yes, as we said earlier, as women, we can fend for ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. We can take care of the children. We can take care of you. But I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I don't know any women who do not want that compatibility, that stability, that companionship, that, we're both working and we're both bringing things to the table. Now, if I didn't have to work, I would be very happy about that too. But I can, and I'm capable, and I'm willing. So just don't bring games, don't bring lies, don't bring dishonesty. Just be a loyal human being. Be somebody who is willing to put yourself out there, because love is dangerous. Love is vulnerability. And if you're not ready to really settle down and be open and be honest and transparent with somebody, and have that same energy, and like y'all can talk about everything and do things together and have fun, then leave people alone. Go on in your corner and get on away from me now with all that nonsense. But if you want to bring the table, bring the table. I'm okay with it. I'll bring some food and stuff if you want me to. We just need to talk about it. We need to just be open and figure out what it is that we need. And I build stuff, because like Kiki said, I was raised in a two-parent home. My dad taught me everything. So like, I can fish, I can hunt, we can live off the land, I can garden, whatever you want to do, let's do it. But just be open and let's communicate about it. And like I said, you can bring the table, I'll bring the chairs. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, you made that was a pretty long list there, Kalisha. I'm surprised you asked him to bring the centerpiece to the table too.
Yes,
all
please.
that, all that.
In the
Bring
nap.
the decorum.
In the nap.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take another quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with more his and hers.
What's good, y'all? It's Don B. We got the plug listening session Saturday, April 30th at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing my latest EP, Beats and Brews. So grab your 6-pack and check it out. And remember to stay plugged in. Vasilios and Habaritos. Feel your heart when I mingle, baby. You're true bandito.
Want your brand or business featured on the plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you. Telling what's gonna happen. It's his and hers. Let's jump in. All right. Welcome back to his and hers. We just got off of a couple of interesting topics. I do want to touch on piggyback. This question exactly is piggybacking off of your response, Kalisha. Do you want your man to be vulnerable? Do you want your man to be vulnerable?
I gotta go back to Webster. Let me see.
It's just making sure that the response is accurate. In the meantime, You got the definition?
Oh yeah, did you want me to? I don't think this is a definition that people are going for, and I don't think that this is the word that people are trying to use. But this says susceptible to physical or emotional attack or harm. And I'm gonna go ahead and say no for me, but I'm gonna let Tam go first.
Um,
I'm with you.
I know. As I always go back and say, and I'm just gonna give a safe answer and say that it depends on the situation. Yeah, it depends on the situation. I mean, you said sustainable to physical, emotion, attack, or harm. I mean, are you talking about emotional attack for in a good way? Are you talking about emotional if you're harming me? I mean, absolutely not. You know, if you're harming me physically or emotionally, but yeah, it would have to depend on the situation.
Well,
Okay, so
let me paint. Oh, go ahead, Kalisha. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, take the definition out and think of the word vulnerable as we know it without the actual definition of it. So let's just say, do we want our men to be vulnerable? Before I read that definition, I probably would have said yes. Do we want them to be able to drop their guards, to talk to us, to hear us out, to be able to accept criticism and critique? You know, I think vulnerability has a lot to do with that. If we have our guards up, we can't be vulnerable enough to accept criticism or to be corrected. And I think that's the vulnerable that we know or that we think that we know. But we really got to start looking up the definitions when we're talking about stuff because.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. I don't mean to interject the male perspective, but the male perspective, vulnerable to us means that exact word, that exact definition. That's how we view it.
Weak. That's what men think. I believe when men hear vulnerable, they think weak. Weak.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But how women view it is be open, honest about how you're feeling. You might have some things that you need to work through, and we'll work through them together and things of that. But there's two sides to every coin, and I think that men deal with one side and women deal with the other. So that's what this question is posing. Do you want your man to be vulnerable?
I'm gonna go back and be safe and say it depends on the situation. Yeah, it depends on the situation. Do I want my man to hear me out? Do I need to hear him out? Absolutely. That goes back to that key word, communication. Do I want him to be weak to the point where I'm like, I need you to man up? No, I don't. No, I don't need that. Again, I'm just gonna go with the safe answer and say it depends on the situation.
I agree. I think it depends on the certain situation also. You want your man to be vulnerable at certain situations, maybe the incident that's maybe going on, but you don't want him to be that way all the time. So I don't really know how to answer this one. I don't.
From the male's perspective, if I can interject and say, do you have a situation that you could give us, and then we could possibly elaborate on?
Okay. So like I was saying earlier, women want us to be open and honest with our feelings. You all like to know how we're feeling. and what we're doing. And me, I was raised as a Southern gentleman. We don't talk about those. So, so if I'm having a bad day at work, you know, she asked me how's work going. I'm like, it was all right. I could have had
And
the
then
worst day at work. I could have. You would never know. You would never know. It's not your place to know because I'm just supposed to eat it, take it, and bury it. Go away with it.
no.
That's
So
so terrible.
when it comes
So
to being vulnerable, we would like that thing. But here's the flip side to that now. The flip side to men being vulnerable is who we trust with our vulnerability. So if we trust you with our vulnerability, and then later down the line, you throw something in our face of from a time in which we were vulnerable, I can tell you that is the primary scenario that every man that had these discussions with, um, they just don't know how to deal with it when stuff isn't going our way in the relationship, and I talk to you about something that affected me way back, could be a childhood trauma, could be anything, and you throw that in my face amidst an argument, confrontation, what have you. But that's the male's perspective on vulnerability. There's more downside than there is plus side for us, and that's what we believe.
I think that deflecting, or you are putting everybody into the same box. So I want to start there. Kiki, did you have something to say before I start talking?
I just want to say that
Because you've been wanting to
vulnerable, like, I mean, I agree with the situation, but I'll use myself. I'm always resort to myself in my experience. Like, I don't want no soft man. Like, I'm not just saying that I'm just this hardcore woman, but you know, Arkansas, and I got a smart mouth. You know what I'm saying? I can't handle no soft. Like, no, dude. Like, and I may come off like people always say, well, men that I've encountered, why you got to be so aggressive? I'm like, that's just, I mean, if you didn't know me, you know, you have to know I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not going to take no crap. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'll say this, if our significant other, spouse, or whatever can't be vulnerable with us, then who are they going to be? Who are they going to be vulnerable with? You know what I'm saying? But still, it depends on the situation, and I can't deal with no weak, soft man. I just my mouth is too disrespectful. Sorry.
Same. I'm the same way. I have a foul mouth. And I want to tell Tam something, because you made the ultimate emasculation statement. Never, ever tell a man to man up under no circumstances. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what's going on. Do not use those words. That is detrimental to the ego of a man. Don't say man. I don't care what he doing.
right, you are right, and I've never said that to them, but that was my interpretation of, I need you to do what it is you're supposed to do. But I've never said man up to a no.
They feel it. They interpret it. They know exactly what you said.
Exactly.
That's
You
that
are
gut
right.
punch. I'm gonna be honest. That's that gut punch for us. That's
Listen, I know it. I
be
know
a
it.
man.
Look,
You've never been a man. What are you? Oh God.
Yeah,
I know. I've dealt with men.
And they don't like being called the P word. They don't like. Don't tell me to be a man.
I
And
don't
don't
like being called a P word.
They don't like to call the punk.
right. And I have never.
Oh, that wasn't the P word I was thinking of. But go ahead.
Right, and I've never said man up, but I did do something, and I have apologized for this. And I mean, once it's out there.
Take it back.
But I
You
did
can't take it
one
back.
time, and it was, it was sort of recently. We had a disagreement, and I made this statement to him, and I said,
Man,
No, I didn't say that. I said something worse than that, and I can admit I was wrong because if I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong. But I did say to him, I said, "Oh, is that why you and your mama didn't get along when you all were younger? You know, talking about him having a difficult relationship with his mom." And when it came out, it was in the heat of the moment. And again, my mouth can be nasty. I will own that. But when I thought about that after the fact, I was like, that was hitting below the belt. And if he went back into his box, I know why. I was the person that did that because I took a vulnerable moment and I used it to my advantage.
Yeah. You play dirty. I'm gonna answer the question. It says, do you want your man to be vulnerable? I personally want my man to be emotionally intelligent. I want him to be able to discuss things like, how you said you come home from work. I don't want him to come home from work mad at everybody in the house because he's had a bad day at work. I want him to be able to come in and say, yes, this happened at work, that happened at work. And what you said about that vulnerability and you guys giving it to the wrong people, you cannot hold that against every person that you get with, because at some point there's somebody out there who's going to love you and going to love you the right way. And you'll never get to that person, and you'll never experience that emotional love and connection if you're holding on to things of the past. And that's why earlier I said you gotta heal. No matter how many times you get hurt, no matter how many times you fall, you gotta get up. And I'm gonna just land my plane right there.
Okay, but Tisha, I'm gonna bring that back to you and flip the table. We're like that a lot of the time. If someone says, something to us, like, how was your day at work? We may say we're okay, but let someone say something crazy to us, we go 10 times crazy off on them. And it's like, dude, I didn't do that. Whatever happened at work, I need you to leave it at work and not bring it home. But some of us, we do that. So
send me your address. I'm going to get you a journal in the mail as soon as possible, because we got to work through these emotions. We got to understand that we cannot attack everybody in the house when something goes wrong. And I agree, though. Like, it has taken me years to get where I am today as far as emotional intelligence goes. And through journaling, through counseling, we need that stuff, because yes, I was a nurse working 12-hour shifts at the hospital, sometimes overnight. Yes, if I came home and there was a piece of paper on the floor, everybody gotta go. Like, that is how I was.
I'm in that field. I cussed out everybody.
It has taken time, but that's not okay. And that's how we start to heal, is when we realize this is not okay. What I'm doing, the energy that I'm projecting, is not okay. And then that's why I say, instead of calling it vulnerability, call it emotional intelligence, call it knowledgeable about who you are, call it wisdom, because I don't want you to be susceptible to harm and attack. I don't want that. I want you to be able to manly state your feelings, state your energy, state what mindset you're in, so we can work through it. I can't work through problems with you if I don't know what they are. I just can't. It's impossible.
Your words.
Gotcha. So what we need to do is adjust the lexicon and adjust these words that we're using, because we're probably using the incorrect words to be saying what we're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Resolution here on the His and Hers podcast. We do this every week, folks. Every week, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Ladies, been enjoying the conversation very much, but we have to bring the show to a close. We're running a little bit over. But since this is the plug, everybody, please plug yourself. Again, going from left to right. Tamara, Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes. Thank you all. I am in Lexington, Kentucky, and I am a teacher. And so thank you all for inviting me. I had a really good time. Thanks so much.
Okay. Jamila, whatever you got going on, we'd love to know about it. Feel free to plug yourself.
My name is Jamila, like you said, but they call me Miss J. I am a hairstylist. I am a salon owner. I am a mentor. I am a counselor. I also work at Target. So I am a woman trying to get out here and make movements in this world to help heal some of these things that we're talking about in this world with this society and the way that life is going right now. And I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, all day.
Oh, yep, throw them L's up. All right. Kiki, what you got for us?
Well, I enjoy this. I'm not so mad at my brother right now. after all of this and getting all this good information, I was born in Arkansas, West Helena, Arkansas, but I currently reside in Oklahoma City. I am a medical assistant 20 years and currently enrolled in nursing school. And yeah, that's about it. My last one is graduating. Plan to be a travel nurse. My current doctor retired.
Get that money, girl.
Awesome.
Get that money, girl.
Kalisha down in Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi. It has been a great pleasure.
Crooked letter.
Hey, chatting it up with you lovely ladies. Y'all follow me on social media. My name is Kalisha Patrice. I am a marketing manager. I co-run a company with my significant other called Hello Black Man. We have journals for the culture. We have Hello Black Man, woman, child, teen, educator, entrepreneur, you name it, we have it. We can be found at helloblackman.com. The journals are also available on Amazon. And my marketing firm is called Effective Marketing and Networking. If you need any assistance in running your social medias, please let me know. And I also do podcasts every now and then. We have a podcast that we do on our platform. If you go to Hello Black Man, you'll see all at helloblackman.com. But thank you for having me, his and hers. I'll be a regular if you need me to. Or if you need me to host something, let me know.
Indeed. Amen. Always a pleasure.
And I want your information to get your journal. I want it.
Helloblackman.com. Email me, text me. All my information is on there.
Yeah, I want that.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you to the panelists for joining us, and thank you to the audience. It's been another episode of His and Hers. Till next time, stay plugged in.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. So nice
What's
meeting
good,
y'all.
y'all?
Nice
It's Down
meeting
Beat.
y'all.
We got the plug
I'm gonna put
listening session Saturday, April 30th at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing my latest EP, Beats and Brews. So grab your 6-pack and check it out. And remember to stay plugged in.
Vasilios and Habaritos. Feel your heart when I mingle, baby, a true bandito.
Want your brand or business featured on the plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you. No telling what's gonna happen. It's His and Hers. Let's jump in.